Hello, and welcome back to The Sober Connection with me, your host, Abby King. My guest today is an entrepreneur, an author, and someone who knows firsthand how easy it is for alcohol to become woven into business culture and everyday life. For years, my guest lived the work hard, play harder lifestyle while building his company until he reached a breaking point after selling the business in 2016. Since getting sober in 2017, almost 10 years ago, he's rebuilt his life, his relationships, and his sense of purpose, and now helps others to do the same. So Ian I just spoiled the surprise there with my guest today is Ian. He is also the author of Wild Ride to Sobriety, where he shares his journey from addiction to empowerment. So once again, my guest today is Ian Fee. Hi, Ian. Welcome to the podcast.
Abby, thank you so much for having me. I can't wait.
That's okay. That's okay. We were just talking about how I am in the future by almost 24 hours. So it's really nice to finally meet you. So I thought we would just start with just getting back to basics. So a little bit about your background, what life looked like before sobriety, in a nutshell, which is kind of sort of impossible, but yeah.
Yeah, I'll make it fast. And mine started at the age of 1, first sip of beer. Yeah, I guess, back in the 70s, I'll be 54 this year. And, back then it was, hey, you rub whiskey on the kids' gums when they were teething and, sipping foam off a beer in a restaurant. So, yeah, my first drink was at the age of 1. At 13, I was working in a bar, washing dishes, pouring beer. During high school, my parents were very, very social alcoholics and always had people around and potlucks. They're a cute little Irish couple that were always the life of the party. And me and a couple of my high school buddies, we would dress up and look all cute and walk around and make sure everybody had full drinks. So I was constantly around booze. And I never really dabbled a whole lot into booze in high school. But man, as soon as I got out of high school and went into school in San Diego, it was Big Mouth Mickeys and Molson Canadians and drinking my face off.
Yeah.
And I thought booze was my superpower for the longest time. Building my business, entertaining happy hour lunches, martini lunches, to vodka soda happy hours, to fine wines at dinner. And this was, Abby, not one day a week. This would be like 6-7 days a week.
Sure.
Of 34 years of drunken debauchery.
Which was good for a while, I'm sure.
Which was good. 3 amazing kids, 2 failed marriages. Something had to break.
Yeah. So what was your story? You've mentioned that you lived a kind of like work hard, play harder lifestyle. So what did that actually look like for you in your sort of day-to-day life?
Oh man, I'd hung over, waking up in the morning, go to the gym, think I'm sweating some booze out, go run around work. Lunchtime, I'm having martini lunches with clients. We're going to casinos, strip clubs, whatever it takes to get a customer and a client out of their business environment. And then that would roll into, because they became my buddies, hey, let's go have happy hour with so-and-so that knows so-and-so. And then it'd be like, well, why are we going to stop this party? Why don't we come back to my house? And I would, I could have 26 people at my house on a text on a Tuesday. And then people were in the hot tub, we're barbecuing steaks, we're drinking fine wine. It's 11 o'clock at night and people are starting to wind down. I'm like, oh no, it's time for some fireball shots. And why don't we order pizza and just load ourselves up on unnecessary calories? And that just, again, that was 5 days a week. Meanwhile, I'm trying to raise kids. Wives weren't happy. Yeah, not a whole lot of good came out of it for me.
Yeah. You mentioned wives, plural. So were they joining in to an extent and then realizing like, hang on a minute, this can't go on, or
they were troopers, man. Great women, great relationship with them today. I was the problem, even though in my drinking fog and debauchery, it was everybody else's problem.
Yeah.
And I made it their problem. But yeah, they would be arm in arm with me for a little while. And, I'd get loud and reckless and they would clean up my damage the next day. I wore them out, is what happened, Abby. I just wore them out.
It's interesting, like sort of when you do get sober and you kind of have that chance to self-reflect and get that self-awareness of how your behavior actually affected your loved ones and those people around you. So for me, I was a daily drinker. My ex-husband was, he could have a couple of beers and then have dinner and then he was done. He was quite happy to just not drink anymore. Whereas for me, that was me just getting started. So, but I would sort of almost force him to drink.
Come on,
Not
have
force.
another one with me.
Yeah, well, no, I'd bring back a bottle of wine, and he wouldn't want me to drink the whole bottle, which I could do very easily by myself. So he would have a couple of glasses, but it was kind of begrudgingly. I mean, don't get me wrong, he can drink if he needs to, but yeah, I just have that sort of that. Looking back now, I actually wrote him a letter. So I left him 3 years ago, and I was 11 months sober when I left, and I wrote him a letter at the start of this year and I said, look, I wanted to just apologize for my behavior because I know it's often when you break up with somebody, it's, well, it was his fault or it was her fault or whatever. But I really wanted to take accountability for my part in that. And I said, I wasn't happy. I was drinking too much. I know that I wasn't a good wife and I know that I wasn't a good mum, but I just wanted to say sorry. And it's actually brought us like closer together. Like we actually get on really well now, but I just think it's so interesting when you're in the thick of it, you don't think anything's wrong, right? And then it's kind of like,
No.
oh shit, actually I was a complete dick.
Yep, for sure. I went through
Yeah.
that same deal. Yeah, I know it well.
Yeah, yeah. So did you see yourself as someone with a drinking problem back then, or did you
Oh,
just think that it was
hell
normal? No.
no way. It was everybody else's problem. Nope,
Yeah,
I did
right.
not have a problem. It wasn't me, even though I had so many red flags and so many people be like, hey, bro, you might want to pump the brakes a little. But I was
Yeah.
always the leader of the pack. I was, I got big energy and, the life of the party, life of a bar. I could get a circle of people and I just love people and love up on them. Um, yeah, I was the number one cheerleader. Like if the party's winding down, and we're winding this thing up.
Yeah,
Um,
right.
and I lived and breathed that for 34 years of just a hot mess and no accountability. And it was everybody else was. I had all these rock bottoms. People would be like, "Hey, where was your rock bottom?" I stacked so many rock bottoms with people trying to help me and encourage me and pump the brakes. I just didn't listen.
Yeah, yeah. I think you do. I mean, you don't listen until you're ready. I mean, that I've learned that from my coaching. I've had some people, say, I had a message from somebody the other day and they said, oh, I'm really worried about my mum. Me and my siblings are trying to talk to her. And she just, every time we mention her drinking, she just loses it. And we end up having a massive argument. And it's so hard. Like, if you're not ready to hear it, you're not going to hear it. You're just going to sort of,
Yeah,
yeah, just think that
yeah.
everyone
There's
else is talking shit.
so many people that reach out that are sober curious. I think there's this big sober curious movement, especially here in the States and probably where you are too,
Yeah.
that, people are getting there, and I got a couple of my son's friends that are so close and reaching out to me like, hey, I want to slow down. What can I do? And I always tell them, a couple of them, it's their circle is the problem. They got to get out of their circle.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, you one of your lines that you sent to me that I read about you was that you sold your company in 2016 while, in your words, in inverted commas, you were fat and drunk in Vegas, which I thought was. I mean that's it's like a what is it, the movie The Hangover? It's a clear
Totally.
line.
Did I send you
um,
my book? I don't know if you can see that or not.
oh yeah, wow, is that you?
Yeah, that's me, fat, drunk in Vegas. That's the picture. That's the
That's the
quote.
proof.
That's me, fat, drunk. That was 85 pounds ago. Oof,
Wow.
crazy.
Yeah. That's all those takeouts after the fireballs
Oh
and
my God.
yeah.
Yeah, just 2,000, 3,000 calories of just wasted shit in my belly.
So, other than that, what was going on in your life at that time? So obviously that must have been a bit of a kind of catalyst movement for you.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I learned a lot. I learned a lot when I got sober about that moment. Because I was in Vegas with my closest circle, some peers, and I got the funding notice that my company that it funded and hit my account, and it was probably the biggest depression and flood of like it's over. I was so chasing the end of my goal. My goal is to sell, build, provide for my family, all this thing, and I didn't enjoy the journey of that one bit. When I saw that money in my bank account, I got this flood of depression. It's over. What's next? Some suicidal thoughts of like, man, what am I doing? Like, is this what's going on? And went into a drunken bender for 2 weeks, and thank God I had good friends and good circles, and drugged me out of that. And it was shortly after that, less than a year, that I got sober.
Yeah.
So yeah, you'd think this would be this big moment and be like, oh my gosh, it's great, money's this, but man, it was the opposite for me, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I guess you sort of lost your kind of purpose maybe a little bit, you know, if you,
1,000%.
what's next kind of thing. Yeah. It's kind of a
Totally
bit,
lost my purpose.
you got to take that leap of faith. And I guess if your identity is all around sort of just getting wasted and stuff, then yeah, it would be kind of like, well, is this my life now? I have all this
Right?
time to get wasted.
Yep,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, what made you decide? Talk me through the process when you decided that you were going to get sober. Was it let's moderate first, or let's see if we can do that moderation thing and put in some rules, or was it now I need
Yeah, it was
to all or nothing?
summer of 2017. Approaching my second failed marriage. My wife's like, "Hey, you need to like slow down." So I was like, "Oh yeah, no problem. I got this." I stacked all these red flags. I should probably listen to this one. Didn't drink the summer of 2017. Probably not the most stable marriage at that time. September, I went to Buffalo Bills game with some buddies, drank vodka sodas, came home, started drinking again, and it was kind of like, that's it. You need to go to rehab or we're done. And I was like, yeah, no problem. I quit for, I don't know, 3 months. I can do this again. So I went into rehab. What day was that? October 20th. A couple days after my son's 21st birthday, which was a hot disaster, drunken mess. That was a $3,200 bar tab at the college bar for all these
Wow.
kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a great one. Go into this 10-day rehab, and I went in for save my marriage, for my kids, for my job, for all my friends. I went into the rehab for like everybody else but me. And
Yeah.
something happened on that third day. The good Lord touched me on the shoulder and was like, hey, unless your shit's right, there ain't anything ever going to be right in your life. So you need to get right. You need to do this for you. And that really resonated, gives me goosebumps talking about it. It really, really resonated with me. So then I was just like super focused in rehab. We studied kind of the 4 agreements, speak impeccable, do your best, don't take anything personal, was kind of the mantra around that. And they do aversion therapy. So they induce vomiting with alcohol, which is horrific. Halloween, I get out on the 31st. Going to go trick or treat with the youngest daughter at the time, which was 7. Super excited to go home. Got served divorce papers on Halloween. Big pivotal point of like, man, I can go back and just drink and all this was for naught. Or I can have my shit together and I'm going to get through this and I'm going to be a better person, a better dad, better everything. And that's the path I chose. But yeah, that was a big pivotal point, going to rehab and then all of a sudden like kicked in the face with divorce papers. But to her credit, I did so much damage prior to that I look back today as like, man, I'm surprised she stuck around that long. So even though it was a big knock, once I got sober and my head clear and like, man, and really realized that I was the problem. It was on me. I was the problem. In all my 2 failed marriages, I was the problem. And I don't think until you get sober and a clear head, you can start being accountable for your own actions. Because I blamed everybody else. It was everybody else's fault but mine.
Yeah. Yeah. So, how was your 10 days in rehab? Like, what did you, I've talked to a couple of people before that have done the rehab direction. And so what did you learn about yourself and about your kind of what your sobriety would look like when you went through rehab?
It was so intense. So you have kids, so you know what Epicac is. It induces vomiting if kids get poison or whatever. So we would do 5 days of Duffy's, which is throwing up, and then 5 days of sedation. So on your Duffy day, your throw up day, you walk into like a doctor's office, and there's a mirror in front of you, a silver bowl, a chair, and then a whole bar. And then the nurse, which we called them the bartender, was right there next to you. You would take down about 10 ounces of Epicac. For me, it took about 6 or 7 minutes, and you're like, man, I don't feel good. It kind of feels like you're hungover in the morning, you're going to vomit. And they try to get you to 18 shots. So she'll pour a Jameson, put it in your mouth, swish it around, spit it in the bowl. Here's a shot of Bailey's, put it in your mouth, swish it around, spit it out. And try to get that to 18 different shots, from Coors Light to wine to whatever, whiskey, scotch. It was, you name it, it was there. And probably by that third one, man, you are sicker than a dog just throwing up in this silver bowl. To this day, I do not have silver bowls in my house.
True.
Yeah, it's like I have
too triggering.
I have this aversion to like salad bowls. It'd be like people are like, "What's wrong?" It'd be like, "That's a silver bowl. Get it out of here.
Get it out of my sight."
Yeah. So I don't have. It's funny. I don't have anything blue liquid in my house. Blue Gatorade, Powerade, nothing blue, because you'd have to get super hydrated before you'd go into this aversion room, and they had blue Powerade. So anything blue ain't in my house. I do not have silver bowls in my house to this day, just because my aversion's so high. So they would get you through these shots. You'd feel horrible. You go to your room. You had a nurse check on you about every 10 minutes because you're violently puking for 3 hours. And right when you're about an hour and a half in, you're like, oh, man, I'm finally feeling better. I could maybe nibble on a cracker. They come in, they give you another big glass of Epicac and induce vomiting another hour and a half.
Wow.
And then you go in with your therapist for a couple hours and go back into AA style meetings. And then the next day, you get up and they sedate you. So there's anesthesiologist, a nurse, your counselor, and somebody typing notes. And they get you sedated, which is a super euphoric feeling. And they get into your subconscious and they ask you 24 to 26 different questions of like, where do you think you got introduced to alcohol? Where is a bad influence? And just random questions. And then you come out of there, you go back to your room for 15 minutes, kind of get calmed down because you're on top of the world. You feel so euphoric coming out of there. And then you go meet with your counselor for 3 hours and go over your questions for 26 minutes of just like, hey, where did you get introduced to booze? And like, did you remember saying this? I'd be like, I don't, who is this person? I don't even know this person. So it was a trip when they got into your subconscious.
Yeah, right.
And I learned so much about me being in rehab. Of once you start feeling your emotions, like I was so numb for 34 years of feelings and thoughts and happiness and sadness. When you start sitting in your dirty diaper and you have to start feeling that when you can't numb them, that was the toughest part for me of sobriety. The quitting drinking was the easier part for me.
Yeah.
The dealing with emotions and feelings and happiness and sadness and crying randomly out of the blue is like, what the fuck is going on here? When you have to sit with those feelings, you can finally start addressing stuff that's really, really the deep issues. I had childhood stuff that fought like the silliest things. Like I got left at school one time, and it's like the silliest things come out of like when you can really understand those childhood traumas that you went through that affected you, in your 50s.
Yeah.
So I learned a lot of, just my dealing with my feelings and emotions was a huge thing for me.
Yeah. It, I feel the same. Like I said, I left my marriage 11 months into my sobriety, and the subsequent fallout from that, I hit a year sober, so I was really, really stoked with that. And then about 2 or 3 weeks after that, I went to a wedding, and my ex-husband was there with his new girlfriend, and it was very soon after I had left him. So it was, the people at the wedding were like, oh, what's going on, and I was having to sort of fend off people going, well, go and ask him, like he's the one that's turned up with somebody else, so I managed to hold it down, and I got through this wedding, walked out with my head held high, and I drove home, which was a 2-hour drive. So the wedding was up where I'd moved from, and so it was all my old friends. But the next day I walked down the beach, and I sat at the very, very end of the beach, and I cried like I have never cried before. And my heart, it gives me goosebumps now because I can feel the pain in my heart from that. Like I just felt so betrayed and all of and I've never ever felt like that, and I didn't drink through it. I totally would have drunk through it, you know, a year or so before that, but I sat with it and I bawled my eyes out, and people were walking their dogs and I was just like you know, are you okay? Yeah, I'm fine, you know, leave me be. So you know, and I got through that and I walked back home, and it still gets me now, obviously, because it was very, very emotional, but just that pain in my heart, like I'd never felt that before, because that was a true feeling. But yeah, it's incredible. But I mean, they're feelings, you're meant to feel them, right?
Yeah,
We just
for sure.
spend so much time numbing them that
We just haven't felt them in forever.
yeah. But oh no, that's cool. Well, I've never heard of that aversion therapy before. So it was literally like puking one day, sedation the next, and you just alternated for the 10 days. Is that right?
Five days on, 5 days off. Yep.
Yeah,
It was
wow.
absolutely insane. My aversion is so high today. I can still go to bars and everything and be very social and just not drink. But every blue moon, you know, could be at a bar or swim up bar or whatever, and like a whiff of tequila or Fireball goes by, my mouth will water today.
Yeah.
And that's almost 9 years later, which is crazy.
Yeah. Wow.
So it worked well for me.
Yeah. That's intense. That's intense.
And I still don't have silver bowls in my house.
Yeah, that's funny. Oh no, that's cool. So obviously you did that and you got out of your rehab. Then you were, you know, suddenly served divorce papers. So what did that next step look like for you? You know, obviously you're dealing with the marriage breakdown, trying to stay sober. Was it easy? Was it okay? Like, how did you get through that?
I had such an amazing circle of people, like my tribe, your community, and if anybody's trying to remotely get healthier, fitter, sober, your community will make the difference 1000%. And I was so lucky that I had such a good circle, my closest friends, my kids, like that helped me a ton. And I went and got a life coach, Angie, which love her, talk to her every Wednesday in the morning. It's really just kind of an accountability coach for personal health, you know, mindset, business. Like, she's awesome. And they're quick 15-minute calls. So I highly recommend somebody get somebody that you can just absolutely be unbelievably naked and truthful with. Like, nothing's off limits. Zero is off limits. Hence the reason I wrote the book is like, if my story could resonate with somebody and make an impact on just one person, that's all that matters.
Yeah.
So, you know, having my circle was insane. Finding I had so much time back. Man, I wasted years and years of my life. I would be having 10 hours, 12 hours in a bar or multiple bars. Like, I had so much time on my hands when I got out of rehab. I was like, holy shit, this is like a whole new world for me. Like, what am I going to do? So finding hobbies to replace that, whether it be, you know, surfing, biking, working out, walks, chess, I don't care what it is, playing the guitar. Go find a new hobby and learn it just to absorb your time and your mindset, because it's easy to get sucked back in. And if your circle are still drinkers and smokers and doing blow or whatever, you know, was your drug of choice, your circle will set the tone for the difference of that.
Yeah.
And I was very lucky and blessed with my circle.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's
and
cool.
My circle used to be this big, right? In my drinking days, because I could text 30 people and have a party at my house in 4 minutes. And today I could give two shits about that. I want my core people around. My circle got real small when I got sober.
Yeah. It is interesting how people drop off, and people that you think were, you know, really close friends were actually just drinking buddies, and you know, they don't really give a shit about you when you stop drinking. It's quite confronting. But yeah, it's
very
it's really
sobering
cool.
for sure.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's cool. So were you in San Diego still at that point, or were you up, because you're in Seattle now, right?
I was in Seattle. I was only in San Diego for a few years, going to school and drinking and bonfires and surfing and having a ball as a kid. Yeah.
So you're up closer to the Canadian border. Beautiful up there, I'd say. Yeah. So how you've often said that, you know, like your children have played a role in you reclaiming your life. So can you talk about that? So your daughter, she was 7 when you So how old is she now? She's late teens now? The one that you
Yep,
were going to go trick-or-treating with?
she's in high school. She's 15, well, soon to be 16. I got a 30-year-old son,
Hmm.
and then a 28-year-old daughter who's a detective.
Right.
Um, so I had the kids actually write letters, and I put them in the book of what it was like having an alcoholic dad in the household, and it's
Yeah.
pretty uh, emotional. And you know, my middle daughter, would writes like, I didn't know what kind of dad I was going to get. Was he the happy dad, sad dad, mad dad, drunk dad, party dad?
Mhm.
Like, well, what's going to happen when he walks through that door? Um, and kids catch more than you teach them. I taught my kids how to party like rock stars because there were parties at the house every night. My daughter would text me at 10 o'clock at night on a Tuesday, school night. Dad, could you turn the music down? I'm trying to study. Like,
Yeah.
I think I'm this amazing, epic, I'm the party dad. Like, shut your face. Like, come on, all your friends are here. I'm serving booze. I'm getting the kids drunk. Like, come on, I'm like this rock star idol dad. Boy, was I absolutely wrong. I
Mm.
taught my kids how to party like rock stars. To this day, my 28-year-old daughter does not drink. 15-year-old, I'd be shocked if she does. My son, who used to be my ride or die, that I'm firing shots with him at midnight, and all his high school and college buddies, can drink a beer or two today and not even, and be fine.
Yeah.
So yeah, my kids, I taught them quite well how to party like rock stars. But on the flip side of that, after getting sober, um, I also taught them what a real dad could be:
Yeah. And
being present and
that's what's
focused and
important.
loving and kind, and do what I say I'm going to do, instead of come home drunk and be like, yeah, we'll go to the movies later, and be like, I'm too drunk, and how can't you just
Mm.
watch Netflix over here? Like, I was such an asshole of a dad. Now that I can sit here and sit in my dirty diaper and say that, but before I was like, you guys are the problem. Like, I'm providing all this. Like, you get houses, you get cars, you get school, you get college, all this. Like, you are all the problem.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah. Stop being
where
so ungrateful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, I was the problem. I can finally
Yeah.
admit that, 9 years later, and be like, oh shit, I was the problem. Sorry. Um,
Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting. I just did a post on my Instagram page. I used to climb into bed with the kids. So there's a photo of me, and I'm like, it's like a selfie, and I'm like, and my daughter's in the background, just kind of like looking at the camera, like with this look on her face, like, go away, like, just fuck off, like, get out of my face. That would be like the middle of the week, probably. And I'd just climb into bed and breathe my wine breath and my ciggy breath over them. And like, why did I think that that was cool, But I did. I honestly thought it was cool. I'd be like, I love you guys so much, blah, blah, blah,
yeah.
And then now, I did a comparison. So now I'm like, they want to hang out with me now. I noticed that sort of probably maybe 3 or 4 months after I finally got sober, 4 years ago. And my eldest daughter, she's 18 now, but, so that she was sort of 13, 14, and they all just used to leave me to sit in the lounge by myself with my bottle of wine. And then, 4 months into this sobriety, and she's like, Mum, should we watch Game of Thrones? And so we binge watched Game of Thrones together, and she was sitting like on me, like so close to me. And I was like, this is what I've been missing, and yeah, it's you think that you're the cool parent, and
Yeah.
you're really not. You're really
Until
not.
you're not.
Yeah, yeah, and it's sad, right? It's just kind of, you kind of think like, I wish I could take it back, but you can't. You just have to do better, like
Right.
from now. Yeah. So, but that's cool. So
Yeah.
your
Look,
relationship with the girls with your kids is great now.
never better. Never better. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just, I can't even compare the two of being present. That whole meaning of being present has a whole new meaning. I had an RV. My kids were very good athletes in high school and college. Um, and we would go to these double headers a couple hours away, have an RV, load everybody up. It was really a built-in bar for me. So
Mm-hmm.
during breaks, we'd cook hot dogs and burgers for everybody. But if it was a morning game, I'm there making, I don't know, 20 Bloody Marys and taking them in the stand in coffee cups, or if somebody wanted Baileys and coffees, I'm making sure everybody's good in the stands, while my kids are playing baseball or
Mm.
softball.
Yeah.
And
Right.
I thought I was a present dad, to
Yeah.
where I have the whole new appreciation of that today of like, man, I wasn't present. I was there, but I wasn't present.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, Obviously, sobriety obviously means rebuilding parts of your life. Pretty much all of our parts of our lives, relationships, identity, friendships. What did that process look like for you?
Um, Boy, it eliminated a lot of people in my
Mhm.
life. Um, and the importance of the people that were around me, those relationships just went to the next level. And, people, I believe, have, people come into your life for seasons. And I had a lot of people in my drinking season.
Hmm.
When I turned that chapter, I, I lost a lot of good people. And I wouldn't say lost. We just outgrew each other
Yeah. Yeah.
in both aspects, right? Um, and not that they're bad people; they're still amazing people. It's just I don't hang out with them every day, getting drunk, drinking a Maker's Mark in their hot tub
Yeah.
every day. So it's just that season ended for me, and my circle got real small and intimate. And for me, it was finding things to like. I had so much time. Like I said, was like, what am I going to fill that with? So I've always enjoyed golf. Health and wellness became kind of my primary focus. I lost 85 pounds.
Yeah.
Uh,
Amazing.
and just eating better. So I kind of took that health path to consume my time.
Mm. Yeah, it is interesting how much time you have, and a lot of people I think go, "Oh my God, it's sobriety is so boring. Like, what do you do?" But it's like, well, you can do anything because you're not lying on the couch feeling like shit. So actually, the world's your oyster, right? It's
Yeah,
yeah,
there's so much you can do if you want to do it.
yeah. How did you, what was your thought? I always find this interesting because I was an absolute shocker, but what was your thought about people that didn't drink when you were a drinker? So sober people,
Um,
if you saw a sober person out and about, like at a party, or what was your kind of reaction? Did you react to them, or did you try and keep your distance,
I
or?
I think I was so numb to them, I didn't even know them. Like if they were, I'd be like, "Hey, we're buying shots for everybody," and they might say, "I don't drink." I'd be like, "Well, come on, you should." Like
Yeah.
I didn't even, it didn't even phase me. Um, but the opposite is funny when you're not drinking and you're in a bar and you're in that environment of how many people go, "Well, what's wrong?"
Yeah.
Right? Why aren't you drinking? What's wrong? We've seen you for 34 years. You were a drunken idiot, like, topless on the bar. Like, what's wrong? Like,
Yeah.
well, there was a lot wrong. If you got time, I can tell you.
Yeah. Actually, I'm fine now. It was before that was wrong.
Yeah, I'm fine now. Yeah.
Yeah. So obviously, you're, a businessman, entrepreneur. A lot of people work, they worry about business and networking. There's a huge drinking culture around networking. I went to something the other day and the only non-alcoholic drinks that they offered were water, apple juice, and sparkling water. So I was like, that was it was pretty tragic. But how do you entertain your clients now without drinking? So what's your process with that now?
Nothing has changed for me in from going to a bar. I can still go, uh, happy hour lunches, happy hours, fancy dinners, just no alcohol.
Yeah,
And I've set the tone, I think, with just me that other people around me are drinking less.
yeah,
Before I'd be the one ordering drinks, another bottle of wine, and now that I'm out with my clients, I could care less if they drink. I don't, I'll still push drinks on people if they're doing shots. Be like, hey, let's do another round for these guys. Let's get them going.
yeah,
Um, it hasn't, it doesn't bug me. Um, and again, I think my influence and people have seen me and what it's done to my life, my career, my health, my relationships, my kids, that I've silently influenced. It's kind of like throwing a rock in a pond, that ripple
mm,
effect that I've
yeah,
created with my circle and the silent impact that we make. And I know that you make too by doing this and just with your kids and the circle that you run with, of how we silently impact people
mm,
is pretty amazing when you sit back and look and be like, oh my God, you haven't drank in 2 years. Like I didn't really notice that. And then people will come up to you and be like, hey, well, if you could do it, I could do it. So I haven't
yeah,
drank in 2 years.
yeah,
So that's we don't give ourselves enough credit of how powerful being sober really is and the impact
Yeah.
that we silently have on people.
Yeah, that's right. Actually, I did have somebody. I started a job about a year and a half ago at the local surf club here, and I'm very open with my story. Like I share it quite happily. You know, I'm probably a bit of an oversharer, really, but I don't care. So, but yeah, it was maybe about 6 months later. I kind of work by myself, but the main guy that I work with, he popped into the office and he said, "Oh, I'm just gonna." He said, "Would you like a Coke Zero?" I said, "Oh yeah, are you gonna grab a beer?" And he said, "I've actually stopped drinking." And I said, "Oh, good on you. You know, that's awesome." He said, "Yeah, you kind of planted a seed 6 months ago when you told me your story." And he said, "I haven't really had a drink since." And I was like, "Whoa, that's really cool." You know, it's yeah, you're right. It does. I mean, it's amazing to feel like I mean, I hated myself when I was drinking, especially towards the end. Those 4 years of me trying to quit. It was heartbreaking. I was so ashamed and so embarrassed, and just I felt like shit. And I couldn't even look at myself in the mirror. And then, you know, now you're inspiring people to change their lives. It's like, whoa, that's so cool. That's
Yeah.
pretty epic.
Yep.
Yeah. So, what motivates you to stay sober today?
Making an impact on other people.
Yeah.
I think I've refound my purpose, and hence the reason I wrote the book is if I could just go make a difference on one person to be a better dad, one mom to be a better mom, one son to, you know, maybe think about it, warms my heart. It is like, and I do a lot on social media, and I get people reaching out like they do for you and be like, "Hey, you're really made an impact on me," or "I read your book and I gave it to my grandma." Like that warms my heart, and makes me feel good that I can make an impact on somebody.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. So talk about your book, The Wild Ride to Sobriety. Give us a bit of a synopsis about, you know, is it the full story? Do you
It's
like
it's it's all there.
no
It's
holds
from
barred?
drunken debauchery to regrets to the my kids writing in there. So it touches everybody a little bit, and then my journey coming out of it and what I did, and little baby habits that I stacked over time.
Yeah.
A couple books that were important to me, and I didn't want it chapter driven. You could read the book in, I don't know, maybe an hour, and it's just story driven. And there's 64 different stories, and they're maybe the longest one is 2.5 pages.
Right.
So you could stop and start this thing in a hot second. And
Yeah.
I get a lot of compliments on like how easy it is to read. And then when you start it, you really don't want to put it down because it gets pretty funny, gets really emotional. Some funny stories of regrets. One of the biggest things I don't miss, Abby, is like these stupid things. And the next morning I'd be like, oh shit, did I text that? Oh no, right? I had regrets every single day.
Yeah.
Uh, and that's probably the biggest freeing thing for me is like, I don't have any of those anymore.
Yeah.
None. No regrets.
Yeah.
I don't have to
Yeah.
apologize for somebody. I don't have to apologize to the neighbor for being like, hey, I told your wife she had great looking boobs in the hot tub. I'm like, I said, what? Yeah, like the most, rudest, crudest, funniest, it's funny at the time, right? And everybody, in my drinking circle would, it's always like, hey, sorry about that. And they'd be, what's everybody saying? Oh, it's okay. It's okay. You know what? It's not
It's
okay.
not okay.
They make it okay. And then they talk shit behind your back and be like, oh my God, did you hear what Ian said? Yeah,
Yeah.
I have none of those anymore. And it's so refreshing. It's so
Yeah.
refreshing.
Yeah, no, that's
Um,
that 3 a.m. Yeah, checking your text messages is not. It's not a good time.
it's
Yeah,
horrible. So I got some
even
funny
like
stories.
Snapchat's worse because the messages disappear and then you have no idea what you
Then you're
said.
like, oh yeah, I must be good. I must
Yeah.
be good. So I got some funny
Funny.
stories in the book about that, and then just stacking my baby habits of health and wellness and journaling and mindset and looking at life and just trying to be better every single day. I had to go through. I have this little saying: "Is like you got to forgive your younger self, believe in your current self, and create your future self."
Yeah,
I had to
that's
do a lot of uh, I know in AA they teach a lot of like, hey, go apologize to people. And people are like, hey, have you ever apologized to your kids? I'm like, no, not really. Because I set the example for them to drink and party like a rock star. I also set the example of like what it can be like. So my kids have seen the two extremes.
Mm.
So I'm a man of action, not of words. I would rather show you. Um, so I've showed my kids what type of dad they do deserve.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Um,
cool.
so yeah, there's a lot of those little baby habits in there. But I highly
Yeah.
recommend
Yeah,
get a
no,
life
that's
coach.
cool. I'll put well when we do the show notes, I'll get the link. Where can you buy it? As in on Amazon?
Yep, good old
Yeah.
Amazon. Just look up my name or Wild Ride to Sobriety. It'll
Yeah,
show
cool.
right on up.
All right, I'll put the link on the show notes when I this is actually being released on Friday actually, so it's
Awesome.
yeah, it's going
Yes,
to be a quick turnaround. Yeah,
I love it.
so yeah, so for someone that's listening who suspects that alcohol might be holding them back, um, somebody that thinks that maybe their work hard, play harder lifestyle is maybe starting to crack a little bit, what would you say to them?
Man, my life, I look at it like in my drinking days, I was in the fast lane or the HOV lane, and it's foggy and rainy, and I'm trying to drive as fast as I can with the emergency brake on. Today, blue skies, nobody on the road, clear head, no emergency brake. Like nothing good came out of alcohol for me.
Yeah,
Nothing. Not one. I can't think of one good thing that came out of alcohol for me. Not drinking alcohol, everything has been better. My relationships, my health, my kids, my job, my clarity, brain fog, like everything got better. Um, and I know there's a lot of, well, and it was like me. It took me, I don't know, I think I wanted to quit for 10 years before I did. But I didn't
mm,
for fear of like, man, what if I'm not the life of the party? What if
yeah,
people don't like me when I'm not drinking? Like we get all these weird self doubts in our head that are just completely false.
mm,
Um, and again, I'd say your community, if you're on the fence and you're sober curious, look at the people you hang with. And are those people you want to be like? Whatever your goals are, your business, your health, your wellness, your drinking, if they don't suit your goals, and it's going to be really uncomfortable because it's uncomfortable to make change. It's uncomfortable to get a new circle or a new tribe or whatever that case may be, but you got to get uncomfortable to make change happen. And people
yeah,
that are on that sober curious, I would tell them, look at your circle. I got a quick story. I was at a Sunday brunch, and we were sitting next to this table. There were four girls, and three of them are drinking mimosas and having a ball, and this one gal clearly not drinking or trying to stop. And she's like, no, I haven't drank in like 3 months and life's good and yada, yada, yada. And these three girls put so much peer pressure on her. She ended up drinking two mimosas because of her circle.
mm,
She quit for 2 months, finally goes out with her girlfriends and her tribe. Instead of supporting her, like, oh, good for you, girl. You look great. Whatever. Like, hell no, you need to drink, girl. We're all drinking. You're drinking too.
yeah,
And she broke down and drank
yeah.
because she didn't want to be uncomfortable in that setting of that peer pressure. So she
Mm.
cracked. And I felt so bad. I wanted to just go shake those girls and be like, hey, why don't you support her in the other way?
Yeah, yeah,
So your tribe
yeah,
is so important no matter what you're trying to make a change in.
yeah. No, that's a good point. I know for me, definitely, I'd always get to sort of like 40 or 50 days, and then I'd get FOMO, and I've stopped getting invited to things, and all my kids had stopped getting invited to things because we always used to go to friends' houses for their kids' birthdays, and it would be a massive piss up, and we didn't like the kids were like they were cool, they were like playing in the pool or whatever. We were all just like like pour another drink till like 3-4 in the morning, but all of a sudden my kids weren't getting invited to kids' birthday parties because I wasn't drinking. So then I would go back to drinking because I felt bad, and
Yeah.
it's so hard. But yeah, I mean, I did my 11 months of sobriety, and then I left my marriage and I moved towns, and I moved to a place where I knew nobody at all, 2 hours away. And I had the choice to either, nobody knows me. I could go back to drinking in a heartbeat. I'm going through a marriage breakup. Like, why wouldn't you? Or let's continue with this sobriety. And luckily I chose that, that direction. And, a lot of my friends now, I've got a small circle, but they don't drink, like, or they, drink very rarely. And it's, the people that I left back, 2 hours north, they're still drinking daily, and it's,
Yeah,
yeah, I mean, I made the right decision for me and for the
for
girls,
sure.
obviously, to see that too.
Yeah,
So yeah, yeah.
good for you.
A lot of my listeners and the people that I work with are high functioning professionals. They don't necessarily hit those rock bottoms that you were talking about. You said that you stacked so many rock bottoms, but they still feel that alcohol is kind of holding them back. What do you say to those people that are kind of in that gray area of drinking?
Yeah, biggest thing is try it without and see how you feel. That's the biggest thing, is like, it's the fear of like everybody else around that table, like that story with the girls I was telling you at Sunday brunch. It's the fear, it's that FOMO of like, oh, are they going to look at me because I'm not drinking, or they're going to be like, oh, what's wrong?
Mm,
And also in those environments, because I do a lot of functions and events, that soda water, that's kind of my
yeah,
drink of choice today, which I had vodka sodas was my drink of choice for 34 years. um, so if you got a soda water with a lime, nobody knows if you're drinking or not drinking.
yeah,
I know some people are uncomfortable; they just can't not have a drink, or they feel like they're going to get questioned. Go find a awesome. There's so many cool mocktails out there these days.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
insane.
yeah.
Um, some people just want to have that security blanket of a drink, but do it without alcohol.
Mm,
Helps would help me tremendously in my work environments and these big functions in Vegas, and all that peer pressure of like, oh, you're walking around, oh, well, you're not drinking. What's wrong? You drank too much last night. Just all that bullshit peer pressure. Go grab a non-alcoholic beer. Like, it's crazy. Like here in the States, most you go down a grocery store or a liquor store, most of them are non-alcoholic seltzers now. And
yeah,
when I was a kid growing up, yeah, O'Doul's was like the only non-alcoholic drink around. uh, but now there's non-alcoholic anything you could possibly
yeah.
imagine.
There's so many options now. Yeah,
And I know a lot of it's just not, having that drink so people don't question you, so that's a big thing.
yeah,
um, and just remember, it's on you. You set the tone for you. Don't let all these other people influence you, because really, who gives a shit, right? You set the tone for you and your family. I wake up every day and go, it's on me. It's on me to set the tone for the day. It's on me how I respond. It's on me to go set the tone for my kids, for my business. So if you can kind of get in that mindset, it helps a lot with that peer pressure of like, hey, I'm the guy, I'm the gal, I'm the one that's going to set the tone at this party. I'm going to be the energy in this room, and I'm the one that's not drinking, and that's
yeah.
okay.
Yeah. And if all else fails, you can leave early and go and have a
Yeah.
cup of tea at home. Have an early night.
Yep.
Just kind of that's what I do these days. But what's the initiative that you're a part of, the Make It Great? Explain to me about that a little bit.
Yeah, it's funny. That started in my rehab. Um, there was a smoker's lounge. I'm not a smoker, but I go hang out with everybody, and um, I was always the one that kind of set the tone for wherever I'm at. So I would bring in ice cream for the group, which would, I think there was 15, 17 of us. It kind of depends on our time. So I would order in Dairy Queen Blizzards, or I'd bring in smoothies for everybody, or I'd bring in pizza, and just have fun, right? It's like, hey, we're here. We're all here for a reason. Might as well have fun together, right? So I just kind of always had that energy and vibe. And we're sitting outside in the smoker's lounge, and somebody says like, hey, bro, you always make everybody just feel so great, like your presence. uh and then one of the gals is like, hey, we should do something that just makes everybody feel great. So it kind of started there. One of the gals also started etching in the logo, which are the Olympic mountains, in the table, so that's where the logo started from. So it kind of started with a group, and that kind of dissipated pretty quick as soon as everybody got out of rehab and they got into their own lives again. Um, and then I got my kids involved. Hey, let's go make an impact at schools. They were in high school and college, so let's go speak at schools, just about sobriety and life and mindset and energy and vibe. Um, and then they went into their own careers. So it's still there. Do I really do anything with it? It's kind of a brand that I have. So I have hoodies and hats, but it's just about setting the tone and make somebody feel good every day. Like,
Yeah.
hold the door for somebody. like chivalry is dead. Um, Hold the door if you're out on a date for your man or your gal, whatever. Like, do something fucking nice for people. That's it. Like, that's simple.
That's it. Simple.
Say good morning. Say hello. Put a smile on your face. Hold the door for the lady. Put somebody's shopping cart back. It's the easiest thing, right? You live on a beach. Somebody's shit's getting washed away. Hey, instead of watching it float off in the ocean, go take it off the beach and dry it for them, right? It's like just the simplest things that we get so scared of in our negative world anymore.
Mm.
And all my stuff on social media is just about making it great. A positive energy. Look at everything as a positive.
Yeah.
What can I, even in your worst situations, like people get so pissed off getting cut off in traffic that they let that 5 second, little hiccup in their life ruin their entire day.
Mm.
Don't let it ruin your entire day. Let it ruin your 5 or 10 seconds. That's awesome. But don't let it ruin your entire day. You stub
Yeah.
your toe. Oops, it happens. Don't let it ruin your day. Your boss yelled at you. Oops, it happens. Don't let it ruin your day. And just have that mindset of just
Yeah.
be a better person every day.
Yeah. And also like we're lacking in human interaction, I think, as well. Just everyone's on their phones. They're kind of getting that. So, the whole world is in those in here for we can just access everything, and then we stop actually communicating with people. And that's what we should be doing. So yeah, no, I love it. That's cool. So yeah, have you got any final words of wisdom that you would give somebody that was having a listen and thinking that maybe it's time to make a change?
Yeah, do it.
Do
Don't
it.
think about it. Just do it. Try it. You can always go back.
Mm.
You can always go back. Try it for a week. Try it for 2 weeks. Try it for a month. It's like people, New Year's. I'm going to go lose all this weight, right? Our gyms are full. Everybody wants to eat better. Everybody wants to get fit, right? New Year's, huge resolutions here. And they have these goals of like, I'm going to lose 15 pounds or 30 pounds, right? And their first week, they hop on a scale and they see nothing. What happens? They go right back to what they did. So set your goals. If you're not going to drink, don't drink for a day. Don't drink for 2 and keep stacking them. It's like losing weight. Set your goal of like, I'm going to lose 1 pound, 1 pound this week. And then when you jump on that scale and you lost 1 pound, that was a win. It didn't lose you 30 because we look at 30 of like, I failed. Take your 1 pound, 1 pound a week, and you hit it. You won. Stack that baby 29 more times. You'll be at your goal. You don't want to drink? Don't drink this week. See how you feel. Like, I'm quitting drinking. Like, I was quitting drinking for 10 years. You were with Ford. Like, fuck this. I'm quitting drinking. You know what? We never did. Until one day we said, hey, I'm not going to drink today.
Yeah.
I'm not going to drink today. I'm not going to drink this week. How many people do, like, what is it, dry January? Because it's like, it's a thing, right? It's a fad. It's a community that, hey, and how many people do it? A lot.
Yeah.
Do it for 30 days. Set your goal for whatever it is. I go to happy hour every Wednesday with the boys or the girls, or we have martini lunches on Sundays. Don't drink that Sunday. Just start with 1.
Yeah. Yeah. I still live by the one day at a time mantra. It's even, I'm coming up to 1,500 days now, and it's I still have to just one day at a time, I mean, every day is different, sometimes you get triggered, sometimes you don't even think about it. But yeah, I think one day at a time is a great mantra to have. And
it's all we have. It's what we have right now.
Yeah.
Tomorrow's not promised.
Yeah, exactly.
So I love it. One day. We're here one day. Let's make the best of one day.
Yeah. No, that's cool. That's cool. So where can we find you, Ian?
You can find me on Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, Facebook.
Cool. Yeah. Everywhere. All right.
Yeah.
Well, I
Follow
will
me.
grab your details.
Love to help you if I could.
Yeah, I will grab your details and put them on the show notes. So yeah, it's been really cool to talk to you. I'm glad we finally made it. And thank you so much for coming on my show, Ian. It's been cool.
I can't thank you enough, and keep doing what you're doing. You're making such an impact that it's so awesome to see, and kudos to your 4 years, and keep being an amazing mom.
Cool. Thank you so much. All right, Ian. We'll talk to you soon. Take care.
Thank you.
And thanks everybody for listening. We'll see you next week. Cheers.